All right, welcome back, everybody. We are continuing Extra Life 2018 with an interesting, different mode of a game that everybody has seen in previous marathons. Actually, I'm going to probably say that this has been in almost every previous marathon. But MrBond is back with Assault Android Cactus, playing this in FPS mode with a one-player campaign. I wonder who he'll be playing as today, but
yeah.
I'm going to give the mic over to him, and we'll get started.
Yeah, so this is Assault Android Cactus, and Tormod is absolutely correct. We have seen this in all of our previous marathons because this is my game, my speed game. So it's typically a top-down twin-stick shooter, and it will remain being a twin-stick shooter, but we're going to modify the top-down part just a little tiny bit, and I'm going to be using Holly. The reason for that will be quite obvious as we start to get into this here. So
but it's not even Happy Holidays yet.
It is not, but we are approaching the holidays, so let's give Holly a little attention, a little love here. So this is going to be the standard one-person campaign run. You've seen all these levels before. You've seen Holly played by Tormod before, in fact, in our previous marathon when we did the four-player campaign run.
Indeed.
But we're ready to get going, so I'll give you a little countdown here.
Sounds great.
3, 2, 1, let's jam. So, well, top-down. Yeah, well, sort of. No, this is FPS mode, first-person shooter mode, so we see what Holly sees.
I'm already terrified.
Yeah, it's not exactly designed for this. It's just a fun little alternate mode you can turn on. So the visuals look pretty much about the same, except there will be a few enemy attacks that are almost impossible to see just because some of these bullets don't really have a third dimension to them. Yeah. It's intended to be seen from a top-down view, so they're very well designed to be seen from a top-down view, but really when you're facing them down like this, it can be a little tough to see where they're headed, what their trajectory is, and really where they're positioned. So the reason I'm using Holly is her standard weapon is a homing gun, which makes aiming a little bit less necessary, which makes this mode somewhat playable. Just by frame of reference, my typical Holly PB, or my Holly PB in the normal graphical style is 47, 48 minutes, somewhere around there. My PB in FPS mode with Holly is 55. So unfortunate, but it does take quite a bit longer to play FPS mode simply by the fact that even though you move the same and your weapons do the same amount of damage, it's kind of hard to gauge where you should be moving since you can't see everything around you at once. Probably one of the more interesting things about FPS mode is seeing kind of your own attacks go by. Oh, geez, that's dangerous. Your own attacks go by. You can see Holly's secondary cannonball just drill through enemies, which is really fun and cool. But the unfortunate part about this is this game really isn't designed for FPS mode. There'll be some graphical glitches. You can't. There are some areas you shouldn't be able to see normally, so there's not quite as polished. But it really just plays the same. It's really just as playable as before. Particularly when we get to the boss fights is where the graphical weirdness starts to kick in, and you really start to question your choices as to why you're playing this in FPS mode. But I guess I could give a basic rundown of the game if you haven't seen any of our previous marathons. So the lore to this game, such as it is that you are on a giant cargo ship floating around in space, and all the robots have taken over. And your job is to get on the ship and kind of find out what's going on and then kind of solve the problem by destroying the robots. So we're going to destroy the robots, because that's what we're here to do. So the basic mechanics, twin stick shooter, go around, shoot your gun a whole bunch, and hope you destroy stuff. These little white gems I'm picking up are weapon power. Our primary weapon goes through 4 different power levels, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Each level that we get will increase its damage accordingly. That was almost an S+ in FPS mode, which is really impressive.
So I have to ask, so you're very, very familiar with top-down mode. Are the enemy formations and timings the exact same?
They are.
Okay.
The enemy spawns are still roughly the same. And as stated in previous marathons, there's no RNG in this game whatsoever. But you can manipulate enemy spawns depending on where you are and depending on where they are able to spawn, say on solid ground or up from holes for flying enemies and stuff like that. So they will spawn in roughly the same locations, but your movement in FPS mode is probably going to be a bit different since you can't really see around you all too well. So you're going to get some different looking patterns, but really it's not all that different from standard mode.
Fair enough.
And unfortunately, the sound design in this game, though pretty awesome, is not quite stereo enough to really use positional audio to full advantage in FPS mode. So you'll probably see me take a bunch of silly downs when I normally wouldn't, simply for the fact that I don't really know where enemies are going to spawn in.
So what you're saying is this is just going to pad out the challenge that you've got going on.
It will. And typical to any other challenge I do for this game in a marathon setting, I will be donating a set amount per down that I take, which is sitting at 0 for now, which is weird. But instead of it being $5 per down, I do not want to skip my grocery run later today. So instead of $5 per down, it will be $2 per down, because I anticipate taking a lot more downs.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair.
However, if by some miracle of miracles I take 0 downs through the entire run, it'll be a straight up hundo
Nice.
that I will donate.
So I guess what I really should be doing is continuing to ask you lots of inane questions so that I distract you.
Yeah, and in this sort of mode, it does really take a lot more focus, especially for someone like me who has played, many hours of the normal top-down mode. Doing it from here, from this kind of perspective, is a bit of a shift.
Would you say that you'll be grinding this category out?
Probably not.
No? Okay.
No. I really only started truly practicing this mode 3 weeks ago.
I got you.
When I kind of knew I would be submitting it for our Extra Life run. I'm going to take another down here probably, maybe not. Okay.
So you've only taken the one so far, right?
Yep, it's only been one so far, but I will need people's help in keeping track of that because I do have more stuff to pay attention to now.
I promise I won't pad the numbers too much.
Too much. Great, thanks. So this game is made up of 25 levels, 5 zones, 4 normal levels in each, and then 1 boss level in each. And this is the boss of the first zone. This is Embryo. And he is very much more imposing in FPS mode because he just occupies the entire screen. So please, Embryo, back up. And we're probably going to take a lot more coward power-ups because I don't want to deal with this. But as far as basic mechanics go, there are 3 different power-ups that you can get. The red power-up gives you some more fire-powered drones on the side of you that kind of give you some covering fire. The yellow power-up, which I'm not going to get right now, is an accelerate, which improves your speed, increases the attract radius to the weapon power, and allows you to skip every 3rd or 4th damage that you would have normally taken. And then there's also the blue power-up, which I got in a very early phase of this boss, called a shutdown, which freezes all the enemies on screen, causes them to take double damage, and refills your health in full. Oof, that is a very scary phase when you can't see everything that's going on. But bye-bye, Embryo. We won't be seeing you again, maybe.
Well...
So I said maybe. We might be seeing him again. So now we're on to Zone 2. And this zone introduces a few new enemy types. These basic walkers, which you've seen in all the previous levels, are called kegs. They try to amble their way towards you. The green variants will try to just hit you straight up. The white ones will fire a 3-round burst. Those big boys I just got up into the face of are called Titans. That particular white variant throws bombs at you, which if you get hit by one, it's pretty much an instant down. The little white floaty dudes are called drones. They shoot the white ones shoot a 1-round at you. There will be a red variant later on that will shoot a 3-round burst, and that are much faster. We will be seeing we've already actually seen a red variant of the kegs called Mega Kegs. They shoot a 3-round spread at you and are generally much more difficult to dispatch. And then here come the bees. These are wasps. They are not very dangerous on their own, but they tend to swarm a whole bunch. And if you get caught in the middle of a big swarm, you're probably going to take it down. Now, in most normal shooter games, you would have a life mechanic, and you don't necessarily have a life mechanic here. Instead, if you look at the top center of the screen, you'll see that battery meter, and you can take I can take a mine to the face is what I can do. So that's 2 downs. And you can take as many downs as you'd like, as long as there's at least a shred of battery left in that meter on top center there. And the way you keep that battery meter full is by picking up the battery drops which I just picked up a couple seconds ago, which pop after you destroy a certain number of enemies. A full battery meter is good for about a minute. Oops, and another battery popped over here. I want to make sure to pick that up. But other than that, it's pretty much straight up run and gun action. Destroy all the robots to beat the level and proceed to the next. But besides Holly, there are 8 other characters you can play as, each with their own unique weapon set, both primary and secondary. And some have a greater fan following than others.
I feel compelled to use that emote in chat.
Oh. Well, I can't see that. Which emote did you use?
Eggplant.
Oh. Ah, okay. That's fair.
Hey, it's completely safe for work in this context.
It sure is. It sure is. So, my favorite android, Aubergine, has a weapon set that is not safe for this type of mode. Otherwise, I would definitely be playing as her. Oh, see. All right, so here, that's one of the big boys right there that we tried to nuke as quickly as we could. We're also seeing these little bouncing white toaster dog things called Fidos. The white variants shoot a rocket that will land after a few seconds, and in a mode like this where you can't see where they're going to land all the time, kind of deadly. A little bit more deadly than in standard top-down mode, I can tell you that much. We'll also be seeing a couple more variants of the Fidos later on. Both of those two are also much more deadly in FPS mode, simply for the fact of what they do. But we'll cover that later on when we get to them. Excuse me, sir. I think that might have been a casual S+ influx. No, never mind. Broke chain. But we didn't take it down, so that's good.
Now, just to confirm, we're still only at 1 down, right?
We're at 2. I did take
2?
a mine to the face in the first level of Zone 2.
Curious.
By way of demonstration. That's what I'm gonna. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So here's the second variant of the Titan, the Blaster Titans. They slam the ground and put out a red shockwave that will pretty much instant down you if you're caught in it, like I almost was there. But that leads us into the 3 different damage types that are possible in this game. There's a red damage type, which you're seeing a whole bunch of right there, which will damage both me and robots. There's also the orange damage type, which my primary weapon puts out, which will damage only robots. And there's also a blue damage type, which you'll see all the enemy bullets are at, which will only damage me. So one of the kind of dangerous strats is to use as much red damage as you possibly can to lure the robots into it, so you, oh geez, like almost that, to kind of increase your effective damage output. But that's very dangerous because it does damage you as well, which we'll see some use of that later on as we get to some laser-based enemies. Oh, I heard that, and I didn't know where he was, so I just kind of panic-swapped there. So probably the other big mechanic of this game is swapping weapons. And you can swap between your primary and secondary pretty much at any time you want, as long as you have some secondary ammo left to you. But in doing so, in the period of your swap between weapons, you are invincible. It's like a second and a half at best. But it is very important if you get kind of yourself into a corner, if you're into a big group of enemies that you don't think you're going to be able to blast your way out of, to just kind of swap and hope that your iframes kind of carry you through.
So do the leaderboards do anything to prevent weapon swap glitch?
Weapon swap glitch? I don't think such a glitch exists.
It was kind of a Cuphead reference.
Oh, I see. But no, there aren't really many beneficial glitches in this game as far as going faster or getting more score. Oops, excuse me, that was almost very bad. Oh, and I would like that battery, thank you. especially in FPS mode and when you're not able to see the whole field at once. You can hear a battery pop and have really no idea where it is, which is a bit dangerous if you start missing one or two in a row. Kind of another weird little quirk of this mode is that since we're in first-person mode, normally the game is just played on the pretty much the 2D plane where you don't have to worry about your weapon aiming up or down, or along the Z-axis, I guess. But here, we have pretty much full control of where we're shooting. So that can be a big problem when you want to align your secondary and you end up just totally shooting over the head of whatever you're aiming at.
Yeah, I can see that being an issue.
In terms of these big boys, though, it's actually kind of fun to do it and see. Oh, he got on the conveyor belt, so we couldn't even see it. But just kind of shooting it up right into their face hole is kind of fun.
Arguably a bigger target.
Yes, they do have a much bigger hitbox, so especially when we get to bosses, too, you just kind of want to get up in their faces and just blast them right off. Speaking of, here's Vespula. Yeah, hello, Vespi.
Please make it go away.
Not quite as imposing as Embryo, but also much harder to deal with because of these wasp swarms. So we're going to hope to get a... Well, that's actually a really good first cannonball. But since the bees kind of drop from above and you don't really want to spend too much time looking up, it's kind of hard to manage this swarm sometimes. Oh, jeez, like almost that. Excuse me. So we're going to take a little coward shutdown here because I don't want to deal with this. Nice. All right. Oh, we are in a bad position now. Yeah, just going to back up a little bit.
So this is like the modern day Patra.
A little bit, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, not great. Excuse me. No. Uh-oh. Oh, wow, that was a very generous pattern there. Excuse me, Vespi. And I know there's a firepower there, but I'm going to wait it out. Oof. So now here's some of her bullet spreads will be very difficult to see because they're meant to be seen from above. And I also almost had battery out, so we're going to grab that one.
Now, is that an actual game over, or...?
It is. You'd have to restart the level. And it's really a run-ender if you're going for speed. Oh,
right,
jeez.
yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm just thinking of how that
here.
happens in Infinity Drive, so...
Yes, yeah. In Infinity Drive, a battery out is certainly a game over.
Right.
All right, I don't know what this is going to be. It's going to be an accelerate, which is actually kind of fun. And here's the graphical part where it makes it real hard in FPS mode. Those red flowers she was shooting out, certainly very visible in top-down mode, almost impossible to see when you're in FPS mode.
Gotcha.
Funnily enough, we did S plus Vespi there, which is incredible enough in its own right.
This is actually pretty cool looking when you're in FPS mode.
Certainly, yeah. This is Checkpoint, the first level of Zone 3. And I missed that firepower, which is unfortunate. Normally a very linear level and when seen from top down, but when you're in FPS mode, you're kind of going down this long hallway. It's actually really cool. One of the kind of weird graphical glitches we'll see in a later part of this level is seeing enemies actually just pop into existence. So not quite here, but when we get to the long hallway section, we'll see that kind of come into play.
Now you can tell that he's concentrating more because he's not singing along yet.
I'm not singing. Even though the Zone 3 music is the most singable bits, I will probably not be singing much of it. So here we go. Here's the long hallway section. You just see these guys just pop right out. We actually get that second guy. Nice. All right. Oh, a dude got behind me here, so that's a little bit of a problem. Without really good positional audio, if something drops behind you and you want to advance in this level, you really got to go back for him. Which is also why Holly's primary homing cannon really helps. Don't really need to aim as much. If you suddenly see your bullets coming back at you, you know you missed something behind you. Oh, well, there was a new enemy type. But if you blinked, you missed it because it got immediately vaporized by our cannonball.
Yeah. That is the desired goal, though.
It surely is. It surely is. But we'll see more of those later on, so I can comment on it later.
Was it a vapor enemy?
It was not a vapor enemy. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, so this is transit. This is kind of another non-arena level. We're on a train. We'll see the effects of the train very shortly here as it starts speeding up.
Yeah. Don't shoot the boxes.
No. There's some surprises in there.
Yeah, I don't want those.
Some real big surprises that we don't want to deal with right now. But we're going to have to deal with them eventually. Alright, we can kind of hear the brakes coming off. The train is starting to speed up. We're getting some mines dumping in. And oh, look at that. A red beam just crossed our vision. That's important. That's a laser. Look out for that. Oh, geez, that mine almost really got me. So the boxes are popping open to reveal these big boys here, and that's not a good sign. Not a good time at all. Oof. Luckily we got that last enemy out of there so the laser stopped. Otherwise that would have toasted my butt pretty good. Alright, so now the train is really moving, and I couldn't move too well right there because we were going around a sharp corner. Not really apparent in FPS mode, but in top-down mode you can definitely see what happens. Now we should be getting a mine phase here. Yeah, there we go. The other kind of benefit to Holly is that her weapon kind of shoots up anyways if you're near like a mine starting to fall on you. So sometimes, only sometimes though, you can get away with scamming out a mine phase. Oops, that's number 3. Just by sitting there and hoping the gun does its job.
Yeah, so Holly's primary weapon will actually kind of home in on things.
Yep. Does the job.
So it's actually really interesting seeing how that functions when there's a Z-axis now.
So when you play this in typically the top-down mode, the enemies have a certain priority to them. I was reaching for the spacebar to split there, but I don't need to split. I don't need to do that anymore right now.
We just got to bind spacebar to Alt F4. It's fine,
right? So you'll treat enemies with certain priority in normal top-down mode. In FPS mode, the priority kind of shifts a little bit. I'll probably be seeking out more of the missile-firing enemies, the white toaster dogs, the red toaster dogs, and probably some of the bomber titans as well, because they leave these things behind that aren't necessarily hearable, and you can't really see them because your field of view is so limited. So if I hear rockets start popping off, I'll be glancing around in almost a panic to see where they're about to fall on me. And mine phase, usually not a problem. I would like that battery, though. Thank you.
Yeah, I can see that being useful. Kind of the point of the game and all. Staying alive via battery.
Right. One thing that does kind of get easier in FPS mode, though, is very narrowly dodging some bullet spreads.
I suppose your own hitbox changes a bit.
The hitbox, I think, is about the same. It's kind of hard to interpret where it is sometimes, but it's almost like more of a typical FPS hitbox, where it's not quite your full field of view, but you can kind of weave and dodge in between bullets. Why did that guy get stuck there? Come on.
This is pretty chaotic. I mean, colors on the screen and everything.
All right, I think that's number 4.
Yep, you're right.
All right. Oh, there's a quick 5er. All right, cool.
Well, making me work here. Come on.
I can't be the only one working. I'm going to grab this battery because I don't like my chances. And even though it's easier to dodge bullets, it's sometimes harder to swap through things that you normally hit a swap through on every time.
Nah.
Like those bullets there and like the flames that are rotating around in this level. I really want that. Oh, battery, thank you.
Was that also a quick number 6?
Yeah, it was.
It was, okay.
Yeah, so there's 3 downs there in that level alone, which for Heat isn't really all that surprising.
So you only have 44 more to get parity with that $100 you're going to offer otherwise.
Oh, goodness. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up happening.
A new challenger appears.
All right, we're going to grab the yellow because this is Revolution, and we dealt with some conveyor belts earlier in the final normal level of Zone 2. This is the final normal level of Zone 3, and the conveyor belts now come in circles. Which is... Oh, geez. Wow. Nice rocket. That's number 7. Which the circle conveyor belts are even worse than their square counterparts. Especially when there's 2 concentric ones and they move in opposite directions. Excuse me, sirs. This is looking a little dicey. Excuse me. Especially when the conveyor belts take those big boys away from your shot. Alright, so there's the laser in the middle there, and it shoots out a red laser, so red damage damages both the robots and yourself. And under normal circumstances, I would leave those alive for a bit, but in a marathon circumstance, as well as in FPS mode, it's just not worth the risk. Oof, yeah. That's 8, I think,
number
now?
8, yeah.
Yeesh. But for Revolution, I'm not too surprised by any of this garbage that's happening. What with the rockets and the conveyor belts and the big factories and just bad stuff happening all over the place.
So I actually missed your introduction to this. Is Revolution like, or the that type, is that like the chaotic mode? Or is that like the amount of chaos that appears on screen?
It's the same amount of chaos, really. It's just having this new perspective on it is
Oh, just the new perspective.
not really easy to deal with sometimes, especially when the rockets start pumping.
And they will get pumping, I assume.
Oh, they will. And they'll get even worse as we get to later levels, so what we're seeing here is but a very tiny preview of the garbage that is yet to befall us.
Something
excuse
falls on
me.
you.
Conveyor belts. Oh boy. I flipped through a rocket landing right there. So I won't be surprised if this is a 3-minute plus level because of how this is going.
Good time for her to say amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Holly. Glad you got my back. Yeah, 302. That's not great. But here we have Zone 3 boss. Hello, Justice. You are a very big boy up close and personal here. Oh, geez, and I took a face full of laser, but I didn't take it down, and I missed my cannon shot there, too, so... There we go. And then there's these.
Well, that's 10.
Which are real hard to deal with from this perspective.
digits.
Excuse me. Where the heck is that one coming from? Ouch.
That's another tally.
All right, we need to... excuse me. And his little things are... Yeah,
See,
this
now
is
you're
not...
really making tour mod work here.
This is not
That's
going
true.
great. We need to get rid of these.
Every down, there's another sigh from me. But it's for the kids.
It is for the kids. It's for a good cause, so I don't mind doing it. And we're almost at battery out, so we need to get past this phase, please. Thank you.
There you go.
Right, just the Ganon style right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez, the helos are really doing business here. So unlike a normal level where you normally get batteries for every certain amount of enemies you take down, in boss fights you get batteries at every phase break. So you see Justice's health meter down in the bottom there. Every little divider, ooh, geez, nice rockets. Every little divider is a phase break here. So we'll get another battery here, which is important because I need to survive.
I love some of these laser sound effects, like that red one that's coming out of his face. Pretty
All right, we're going to take a coward little shutdown here. So we need to clean this stuff up. Whoa, excuse me. Ouch. I've lost count at this point, so I'm going to rely on you.
You're at 14.
14. Yikes. Suddenly, Zone 3 has gone entirely to pot. Whatever, there's Justice. Go away, Justice. This stupid Justice. Okay.
No, it's supposed to be for great justice.
Class
Yeah.
D license.
Justice was served eventually, so whatever. Alright, so Zone 4. We get a new doggo type. These are the blue doggos, the Fetcher Fidos. They don't attack you directly, but they do tether you, drag you around the level, and generally stop you from moving where you want to.
So on this level, since it doesn't have walls, does that affect anything?
Not especially. You can't just walk out or fall off at any point. Enemies can spawn by flying up from the outside. Oh, excuse me. Plus, we will see... Oh, nice. We will see these panels underneath us kind of change out, and it'll change what the level kind of looks like and how it functions. Right now, it's pretty open because I've been a good boy, sort of.
15.
Ugh. He's been a good boy and kind of kept them from swapping out under us, but you'll see some of them now swap in. There's pillars, there's going to be other nasty stuff that appears if we kind of let it do that sort of thing. But as long as we have at least one kind of completely open panel, we should be okay. And there's a quick mine phase. Bye-bye mine phase. Oh, there's more mines. Excuse me. And I thought I heard a big boy drop in, but I think that was... Oh, never mind.
16.
Shoot.
Oh, this
There's
is a
the big
bump
boy.
tune. This is a good one.
So then you get turrets. Oh, geez. There's a white variant of the turret which just shoots bullet spreads. Typically not dangerous, but if you catch all 4 of one of them, it's not a good time. So hopefully that nails that dude right in the head. Thank you. So as your weapon starts powering up and as more enemies start entering the field, especially in first-person mode, your screen is going to get a little flashy. Which, even though the visual design is very good and it's very easy to distinguish your bullets from other enemies, when your screen is just kind of painted full, sometimes it's still a little tough to see. Oh, I got both of them. That's incredible. So once we hit Zone 5, we'll see one more final variant of the big Titans, and one more variant of the Doggos. And then we'll start, later on in this zone, we'll start seeing an entirely new type of enemy, which I think will start in this next level here. Ugh, 250. No, maybe not. So this is level 2 of Zone 4. This is Relay. This is similar to the first level in Zone 1, where you're following a pretty linear path. I think there was one behind me that I missed. No, I guess not. Oh, I guess I didn't talk about these little circular type things. These are factories. They spawn bullets all around them depending on their type. The red ones will spawn these little fish-looking bullets, which will aim towards you and kind of rush you. We'll be seeing 2 more variants of these, one more variant of which will show up at the end of this level. Oh, it's getting a little dicey there. Excuse me. I'll wait for this to become a red power-up. There we go. So now we're at the kind of the middle section of this area. Elevator going up. So here we see the first kind of appearance of the red drones, if one will show up for me so I can explain. No, probably not. They're there we go. And there they go. They're faster, they shoot 3-round bursts, and they're really not much of a problem for Holly since she already has a homing weapon. If I were playing somebody like Starch, where you have a very narrow-focused beam, they're kind of a pain to hunt down sometimes. Now we're on to the second part of Relay, another long tunnel section, or long linear section. preemptively shoot a cannonball in that dude's face. Eat it. Thank you. Is that going to get that guy too? Yeah, nice. Trick shot.
6 seconds later. That's a good shot.
Yeah, it's very slow.
Yeah.
But it does the business. Oh, we're going to get that guy?
Just makes it more
Yeah,
skillful.
all right. 2 in a row.
Nice.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Super awesome. You got to have fun where you can.
Winning is pretty fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Even better when you get some really weird shots working out for you.
So how jarring is it going to be for you to go from this to a top-down next?
Probably a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
It'll probably take me a little bit to get my top-down legs back.
We're also going to need to remember to install the version that doesn't have mono beams for everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So some of you may see at the bottom of the display, MrBond and I will be doing a co-op run, a score exhibition really, in Divine mode on Jamestown, which has been out for, gosh, 7 years now, probably?
Nice. S+.
Yeah, it has
2011.
been. Yeah,
Mhm,
2011.
mhm.
I didn't even see the date right down there. And just a heads up, MrBond might not be singing during this one, but we'll probably be singing during the next one because
yeah.
Francisco Cerda's soundtrack for that game is fantastic.
Both of us certainly will be singing. And that's not even a donation incentive. It's just that good of
It
music.
is. It really is.
All right, so here's the other variant of enemy that we had yet to see. These are the... Oh, geez.
Well,
that's me taking it down,
That's a
first
17
of all.
That would
now.
actually be 18.
Is it 18?
18,
Yeah, I was
huh?
actually waiting to tell you until the next
okay.
knock, but he went that long without a knock for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty good.
So those are the Spectres. The red variants will shoot lasers at us, which we've seen.
You know, I've never actually seen their faces, and they're kind of weird.
Yeah,
Kinda
they're
scary.
they're not the most unfreaky.
Yeah.
I'm still afraid. It's okay.
But we'll be seeing another blue variant of those in a couple levels as well. Which the blue variant is honestly the most scary, just based on their behavior and weapon patterns. But for now, we'll do our best to avoid any long-range snipes from the red dudes.
Ooh, he almost walked right into that,
Oh
too.
boy. Oh boy. There's 19.
Nice try. Is that your character's voice that's saying battery here?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. That is Holly's voice.
Cute little voice, yeah.
Every character has their own unique voice to them.
And they're all androids.
They are all
Imagine
androids.
Imagine.
that. Assault androids, even.
Are any of them based on cacti?
Oopsie.
No, so the primary protagonist of this game that you start out with, her name is Cactus.
Oh, got it.
And it
Yeah.
was real interesting trying to figure out what the heck this game's name was, or meant, like what the
What it
inflection
meant.
should have been.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Assault
right?
Android Cactus, or...
That's the only kind
Assault
of
Android
downfall of
Cactus.
this game is that the name is very peculiar, and it doesn't really lend itself well to being easily explained.
Could you say that the name is a bit prickly?
Yeah, a little bit, I would say.
There you go.
But it's a fantastic game, and it certainly deserves a lot more love than it gets.
Oh yeah, for sure. As we tweeted out for this run,
Whoop.
we actually added the developers yet again.
Nice.
Go check them out. Obviously, check this game out too.
Oh,
It definitely is a really good indie modern FPS.
Yeah. So normally, like you said, it's a twin-stick shooter that's top-down.
Correct, yeah.
I'm actually in love with the way it looks already, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so being in this mode kind of where you can see some kind of graphical weirdness, it really does shine in the way it was designed to be played.
It makes sense. You could totally tell this was like just Redux. Just
Oh,
for
right.
the-
Yeah, this is certainly
mode.
just an add-on. It wasn't truly designed for this,
Yeah,
but
barely
it's
Redux.
a fun little add-on if you want something just a touch different.
Now, is this a paid DLC or is this just part of an
This
update?
is just a built-in mode
Nice.
that you have.
I could definitely see you wanting to get used to the twins, or like the overhead style first before switching to this.
for sure.
Ah, dang it. I faced down that dude and he faced me right back.
The big 2-0.
Yep, that was 20 there.
Ooh, whoop. Can I
Good
get that guy?
cannonball.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
nice. Trick shot.
Right in the face.
Can we get that guy too? Oh,
Yeah,
we got
Remind
him a
me
little
what
bit.
happens at 50?
Well, MrBond is doing $2 per down. If
Oh,
he didn't
per
get
down.
any downs,
I
it was going to be $100 flat. So,
I could almost guarantee that would not have happened in this mode. It's pretty rare, even in top-down mode, to get a downless run.
yeah, fair.
Oh, yeah, there come the mines.
21, blackjack. All right.
Oh boy, I despise the mind phases on this level. This is the last normal level of Zone 4 though. It's called Repeater. And you can kind of see it has this really neat level deconstruction and reconstruction mechanic.
Yeah, that's cool.
So as you move around and as enemies spawn in, the tiles will remain there. But if you go too far too fast, you'll end up on a very narrow space because it can't deconstruct and reconstruct fast enough.
So is every level, as far as like enemies spawning in, is it based on time, or is it based on as well as like how many you're killing at once?
It's based on waves.
Okay.
So they'll spawn in certain patterns, and depending on which ones you kill first, it'll kind of adjust the next wave.
I see.
So if I hold off on killing a lot of the big ones will spawn in later, along with probably a different pattern that I wasn't expecting. Oh, there's one class of enemy I haven't talked about yet. The big canisters. This is the mine canister variant, the first time we've seen these. When you burst them open, they release 6 mines at you. It's not a good time. Some cans we've seen earlier in Zone 3 were full of wasps.
Yeah.
Which are also not a good time.
Yes, that's a terrible time.
It's not a great piñata. Like who decided to do that?
Definitely not edible.
Very bad for children's parties.
Yeah, it's like a Simpsons Halloween episode.
Yeah, right.
So we've also seen the blue variant of the factories, the tendril factories. They spawn, they spawn rings of bullets around them that kind of spread out. But the bullets disappear. Oh boy.
All right,
23.
22.
That's 23.
The bullets disappear as
two
soon as
quick
you
ones.
destroy them. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this is a real bad level.
24.
Dang it.
Not
I
a
wasn't even
great
done
level.
typing yet.
3 quick ones. That's not the quote, but...
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Oh boy, that was a terrible repeater. That's probably going to be like 4 or 5 downs on that one alone. Yep. And now here's the boss of Zone 4. This is Venom.
Arena combat.
If you've got arachnophobia, look away, please. I wish I could
that's
look.
pretty gross.
I wish I could look
Oh,
away, but
dang, now I'm going to see it in 3D.
oh boy,
I
yeah,
can't wait to
exactly
see
right.
it. Oh, this is also cool here.
So this is actually kind of easier to weave in between because you can see where each individual bullet is actually at.
Yeah.
But
I
You're
feel like
firing Doritos.
I feel like in FPS mode, it's more of a simulator, so like you feel you have more control.
right.
That makes sense. I'd like to see like a lot of shoot 'em ups just turned FPS. That'd be cool.
It's a drill. Ooh, the drill phase wasn't too bad.
I can actually imagine something like Jamestown being really interesting if it were a Star Fox style like TPS kind of thing.
That'd be interesting. All right, so that was a very dangerous thing to do.
All right, well that's 25.
I like the idea though.
Can we get that guy, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I guess it hit.
I'm going to avoid any of the yellows because I really don't need to be moving faster than I am right now. I think I aimed that a little bit too high, but we still got him. Amazing. All right, I will grab the yellow here, though. Because we are dealing with drill phase number 2, wherever it's going to appear. There it is. Ugh. Ah!
All right, 26.
Dang it. Oi. Oh, boy.
Nice little conch enemy.
Yeah.
Ah,
Those
shoot.
were pretty good dodges.
And
at first.
27. It's a good old drill there, which is bizarre for a spider, but
It's true. Oh, so it's
There we
that's
go.
like the spider's like abdomen or whatever.
So
That's
now
the spider.
here's the butt phase.
The butt.
Hello, butt phase. Also, I need to kind of watch around me because these other smaller spiders will sneak up on me.
Kenny with the spindly doodle,
Dang
gonna
it.
spindly doodle, and that's a 28.
Can the spiders
All right,
turn around and
here we
see
go.
his beautiful face?
Yeah, that's real gorgeous.
So now he's going to try to puke on us,
That's
but
a
we don't
pretty
like
girl.
that, so
Puke
we're not
is
going to let him.
Unattractive.
All right, bye-bye, Venom. I think that wasn't too unfriendly considering what I was expecting. Only 4. All right. But here's Zone 5. The first level is Centrifuge. We'll be seeing a lot of spinny bits. So
All right, motion sickness.
If you get
Great.
easily
Oh,
motion
jeez.
sick, now would be the time to just go audio only.
Well, I can't, so.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Oof. Well,
Oh,
stop
boy.
for a little. Oh, no, maybe not.
If
Yeah.
it goes the opposite way, then it's gonna start really messing with me.
Nice.
So unfortunately, we'll be seeing a lot of stuff pop out of the walls. A lot of wasp cans, a lot of mine cans later on. Because this being the final zone in the game, this is the culmination of pretty much everything they've thrown at you, plus a few new things. Oh, that was super dangerous to go right to that factory for it.
I like the brute force strat.
I mean, it's going to get us more downs probably, so.
True.
So here come the mine cans and a lot of other mines. Excuse me, fellas. That guy, thank you. Grab that. While the world falls around us. Whoa, and the blaster gets
You were
me.
ready on that.
Yep, I had my finger on the 9 key
Shane
there.
actually decided, yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely an easy spot to take it down.
Sure is.
Doggo,
like you've
please let
watched this
go.
game.
Dang it.
That's a 30.
That's a cool 30. I
Yeah,
bet.
we're up to
Yeah.
30.
That's a cool 30, exactly.
We got some Cool Ranch Doritos upstairs. Just saying. Or is it Cooler Ranch? I
missed
can never
that.
remember.
Cooler Ranch sounds cooler because of Dragon Ball Z. That's all I'll say.
Nice.
Oh, dear. So there is still the risk of the soft lock in this level, in this mode as well.
Yes.
But I'm not going to be worried about it because there's plenty more
What causes
that
the
I
soft
need
lock?
to be doing this. So the soft lock here is that as the enemies pop out of the outer ring there, if you hit a shutdown at exactly the right time, they'll freeze in there, and then your weapons can't reach them, and you'll eventually battery out and lose the level.
Yeah.
I've only had it happen twice, and one of which was at our previous marathon.
Yeah, it was real unfortunate because
It was not great.
It was during our PB attempt.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
every run is a PB attempt,
Right,
but still.
and it was still a PB, that attempt, but
it
it could have been
saved
like a minute and a half.
So, yeah.
So a lot of people actually go for high scores in these types of games. Have you ever tried to go for like score attack or anything?
Oh yeah, this game is real good for score attack stuff, and if I ever
Yeah.
get out of this crowd, I can talk about the scoring. Excuse
True.
me.
So the leaderboards are based on score, right?
Yes, the leaderboards are all purely score-based.
Gotcha.
I like it.
And there's a typical base score to every enemy. So you'll see the score at the bottom kind of ticking up. There's also the concept of a chain you'll see in the top left. And that chain goes all the way up to 10x. However, there's also the concept of a surge score, where if you destroy 2 or more enemies in quick succession, I believe it's like maybe a tenth or a tenth of a second or 0.15 seconds or something like that. That chain will go all the way up to 15x. And that'll multiply the base scores of all the enemies that are involved in the chain, or in the combo, or the surge rather. But whenever you take it down or whenever you wait long enough, that chain will reset back down to 0. So going fast and getting high score really go hand in hand here.
That's cool. I
Plus,
like
there's
that.
also a major score bonus at the end of the level depending on how quickly you complete the level as a whole. So here's Control. And the gimmick in Control is these 3 little emplacements around the 3 corners of the level. This is the one I'm going to be sticking the closest to because it pops up a machine gun that helps me destroy everything. But over in that corner over there is a missile launcher, and over in that corner over there, across the way, is a plasma shield. The plasma shield sucks, so we're not going to see it.
So do enemies that get destroyed by the little turret actually count to your score?
They do.
Okay.
If you're starting to build up a chain, it will not advance the chain, but it will refresh it so you won't lose it right away.
I got you.
As long as you land at least a minuscule amount of damage on an enemy, no matter what destroys it, it'll refresh your chain.
Nice.
Excuse me, mine cans. That was a very silly move to do. Oh, so was that. What are we doing?
This is really colorful.
Excuse me. Oh, there's the hero mines. There we go. Heroes one and all.
I think you deafened me a little bit there.
Sorry. Got a little excited.
Woof.
So here's the rocket launcher. We'll see the rockets doing some business. But we don't like that either, so let's go back down here. So the levels in Zone 5 are by far the longest. The next one, certainly so. But we should be getting close to the end of this one since the Titans are starting to spawn in. Oh my god, crossfire.
Crossfire.
You'll get caught up in the...
I was just waiting for that to happen.
It's like the second time
boy.
today.
Yeah. Already? Dang.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Oof. A lot of panic swaps going on here.
Yeah, there was a mention of it in the Blake Stone run.
Of course.
Alright, that wasn't too bad of a control. I think only
Nice.
1 or 2 downs.
We also talked about it
I
for
don't
about
think he had
20
any.
minutes.
Only one?
We only had-
Okay.
Dang.
All right.
I think we counted that.
All right.
I was staring at the screen.
Okay.
So,
you know what? I don't think you actually typed it in though.
final
I think I saw you
level
going for a bit
of Zone 5 and rip encoding. This is convection.
Yeah. Yeah.
All these little burners underneath us will eventually light up with red damage flames, so they'll hit the enemies as well, but they're much more likely to make me take it down, so
Yeah,
good
you should
luck
do that.
to everybody of us, especially me, the one who is currently playing the game.
Mostly you, yeah.
And now we see the blue variant of the Spectres. They shoot out large bullet spreads and teleport around, so we'll probably be prioritizing taking those down first if we see them.
That's my favorite common enemies. Well, it's not even that common, but
Oh,
as a regular enemy.
careful. Oh, flames, please. Oh, my goodness. So now we're back to kind of the more typical arena style. Very kind of compact this one is, though, so we'll be seeing lots of stuff happen. Including a nice big doggo trick shot there. So I forgot to call them out in the previous level, but we see the big red doggos start to come into play. Those are jumbo Fidos, and instead of firing just one rocket like their tinier, whiter brethren, they fire a whole pack at once.
That seems pretty rude.
It is very rude. So they will probably also be a very high priority target for us. Oh, geez.
33.
33, okay. Thank you, I didn't remember. And with everything kind of coming to a head here, the big combos along with the blue doggos was not the greatest of times. So there's a couple of the big ones. Bye-bye. Ooh, that's getting a little dicey. Excuse me. And I did
34.
not look at that properly. Oh, lost the battery? That's not a good thing to hear.
Yeah, especially when
We
you're past
need
half
to,
battery.
we need to get that.
You're
Thank
fine.
you. There it is.
I say as I have no information about the game except for what you've told me so far. You're fine.
Typically in a normal top-down campaign speed run, its battery is pretty much a non-issue.
Yeah, I imagine it's like you were saying earlier, it's a lot easier to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially here where it's a little bit hard to gauge the depth of some things. Oh, excuse me.
35.
It's hard to get into the battery attract radius, especially when you're like a couple pixels off and you think you've grabbed it, but then you back off real quick.
Yeah.
And then you're outside it again, and it's like, whoops, I wish I would have grabbed that.
Well, you hit my minimum goal, so there we go.
Whoop. And it's really hard to tell given the perspective we're in right now, but eventually these fire jets will start following us around. Ah, tried to swap through there.
36.
And there's the big blue Titans. Those are the Buster Titans. They amble towards you, jump towards you, and try to smash you into the ground. It's pretty much an instant kill if you get it.
So you're not able to jump in this, right? You're
Correct.
grounded?
You are ground bound entirely. With
Enemies
one notable
cheating.
exception with one of the playable characters. She has a secondary that lets you skip around.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
It is very cool. It's very hard to use, but it's very fun. Okay, and speaking of, this is the android here. Hello,
Let's
Licorice.
go. That looks cool. Yeah.
So,
Hello, Licorice.
with her being an android, she also powers herself back up with batteries, so you gotta
Correct.
prevent her from getting any while getting them for yourself.
We will see that in the latter half of this level here. She is a mini-boss of sorts, and she is very rude.
Yeah.
Can we get that dude behind him? Yeah, eat it. Gotta make your own fun sometimes. Aw, he stepped out of there. Jerk. There we go. I hear the lasers, but I can't always tell where they're coming from. Whoa, excuse me. Oh, we're gonna dance in. That was dangerous. But we did it. We managed to survive that terrible decision. And there was the only blue laser in existence. Bye-bye. Much like its red laser counterpart, except it being blue damage, it only would have hurt me. So you really want to take care of that as quickly as you can. And in the campaign run, that is the only one that ever pops up. So hope nobody missed it. Really wanted to see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff around me that we need to take care of real quick. Yeah, we'll take the accelerate. Alright, so here comes the licorice fight. And as Tormod very aptly observed before, she is an android like us. So she operates on the same principles. She goes around destroying robots, getting weapon energy, and she also operates on battery. So her battery meter is bottom center, and really the only way to win this fight is to make sure she batteries out. And in order to do that, we need to keep her from getting any. And that becomes a bit of a problem when stuff starts popping off. So what we're really going to try to do here, and she's going to get that one, I have a feeling. Yep. Shoot.
Yeah, 37.
We're going to need to control her. And we do that by destroying the right stuff around, hopefully popping batteries into our face instead of hers. And I don't even care that I'm taking downs, because I really want to end this fight.
39.
It's really problematic to try to hit her with the secondary because it's so gosh dang slow. Also, give me that battery. Where is it? It's over there. Why is it over there?
40. Yeah, she got it.
Shoot. And she got an accelerate too, which is really problematic. Yeah,
41.
She's a sniper.
Where is she? We need to keep control of her because this is a problem. Also need to not be smacked.
Uh-oh.
We need the battery in our favor. Why did she get that one? Excuse me. Oh dear.
43? 42?
Boy, this could be real problematic.
I thought there was one I missed in there.
Where is she? I don't like not knowing where she is. Oh, there she is.
43.
I also need to pop a battery for me. Thank you.
Grab. A little bit of a clutch fight right now.
And
okay,
you're
good. Good. Oh, jeez. Ah, that is not a good fight. That was like, I want to say 10 or 11 downs. Only 7. That felt like more than 7.
Okay.
But okay.
It just happened in quick succession. Ah, Medulla.
But here we go. Here's the final level and the final boss of the game. This is Medulla. This is supposedly what is causing all the robots to go berserk. So we're going to do what we do best and destroy it.
In the face. Wherever that might be.
Oh, jeez, excuse me. Whoa, excuse me again, please. So here's our FPS mode. It's kind of easier to dodge in between all of this, but since those go in and out, it's hard to see what's behind you. And we're going to grab this coward shutdown, because I'm not dealing with it otherwise. And hey, look at this. This is an embryo refight. How about that?
Gee.
Bye, embryo.
But that means Vespi's going to be next. Ew.
Yeah. So we are going to do a boss rush of sorts here, which is not very fun. Dance out for that. Oh, I'm surprised we got the firepower there too. Nice. Oh, that's so dangerous. Please get rid of this phase.
Nice.
Thank you. So hello, Vespi refight. She's going to be tossing out her flowers that are very difficult to see. Dance in. I couldn't dance in.
44.
But that does get us the firepower, so whatever. Please, Vespi, go away. Thank you. Now, these big fat blue bullets are pretty much instant downs, so we're going to try to keep...
Nice. Good 45.
Yeah, nice. Real good timing
You
on
were
that.
talking about the blue
46.
ones, and it was a purple one that hit you.
Yeah, the darker blue ones here. These other
Or
ones
darker
are
blue, yeah.
pretty standard.
You almost got
Justice,
another
you
one
need
there.
to not be on that battery, please. And also, I want that, so thank you.
Yeah, Kenny. It's almost like Mr. Bond is trying to get at least 50
Woo!
downs.
Excuse me.
It's very kind of Bond.
Yeah.
All right. All right, can we get the surge on this? That would be super rad. No? All right, that's all right. So I am... Oh, there's the laser.
Jeez.
Hello.
47.
Hi, laser. All right, F this. We need to clean up some stuff. This will start overwhelming me if I don't kind of keep this clean.
48.
Yeesh.
Nice.
So there's a popular meme going around with this fight in particular, where somebody calls this laser a very bad word.
Yeah, Kenny already mentioned
Dang
it.
it!
Also 49.
There's 49. We might have actually hit 50 here. There's still the ether. Oh wait. So we're almost done. I mean, we're done because it's dead, right? Oh no, we're not done. Who could have figured out that there was going to be another final phase?
Yeah, you might know him very well.
Yeah.
The person who may have mentioned that laser in chat.
So here's Ether Sphere. This is kind of the last gasp of the final boss, so we just need to destroy all this and be on our way.
Geometry Wars.
That's the name of my split for this part, so yeah, it pretty much is Geometry Wars. Oh boy, excuse me. Oh, we got some lasers going on too. We don't like those.
Come on, take it down.
Oh, that was almost it right there. And there we go. Survive I Medulla time is coming up as soon as I click off the results screen here.
That was sub 50 downs
Yeah, by 1.
by 1.
And
that's why
time.
I wanted to make it sound really good.
All right, what do you think it was?
I'm thinking it's over an hour because that was awful.
1 hour, 46 seconds.
Okay, a
actually good.
really low hour. Yes, thank you, Aubergine. That's enough out of you. So that's FPS mode.
That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it started to make me sick.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
Holly being one of the easier ones to use in FPS mode. Some of the other ones are very rage-inducing, as I'm sure is probably pretty apparent.
Yep.
But how many downs is that? 49?
49.
We'll make it an even 50. Like,
Nice.
All right, cool.
Oy.
GG.
So I think next is myself and Tormod with the co-op Jamestown Divine Gauntlet score exhibition.
Yep.
That's another fun shmup, so definitely stick around for that. I also have the same kind of active challenge going for that. I will be donating $2 for every player revive we need to do in that one.
Nice.
That covers both of us, so...
Oh, that's even better.
If you start sandbagging, I'll know, though, so...
Tormod is smiling.
I'm usually pretty okay.
Right, which is why it's $2 and not $5 again, because I have a feeling between the two of us we'll be taking plenty of deaths there, too.
It'll be a fun time.
So it'll take us a couple minutes to get that installed and set up, but stick around, please.
All right, we'll be back in about 10. See you then.